Oh wow. Hey, welcome to the channel. Today I'm about to check out TierZoo power scaling cows. Um I don't think it's just gonna stick to cows since this is a tier list. Maybe it's gonna break it down to breeds. Like that, what is it called? Baby cow or something like that, where it's just super furry, super hairy. I forgot what it's called, but something like that. He might probably throw in bison. I'm sure there's a proper term for it, but he's not gonna use it because it's not gonna get as much click. Just imagine power scaling Kakor or some ish like that. It's just gonna be crazy. So maybe it's gonna throw in buffalo, bison, what different type of buffalo. It's kinda crazy that some call a bison a buffalo. It's iffy. I don't know why. A yak, Cape Buffalo, no, I don't think he would throw in antelope. I don't know, antelope or not. Well, antelope, but antelope, not. Huh. Yeah, I think that's as much. I mean, bull, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. That's just as much as I can think of. So yeah, with that said, if y'all enjoyed the vid, y'all know what to do. Boring rush.
Cows are one of the most popular builds in the game, and normally a high population is a good indicator
I
that
ain't
a
never
build
seen
is
him run
pretty
that fast.
powerful in the current meta. However, I think in the case of cattle, there are a lot of other factors which make their true power level a bit less
Moo?
obvious. Are cattle low-tier builds that are simply propped up by human activity?
Probably.
Or are they a genuinely powerful high tier that would dominate with or without human help? Let's delve into their stats and
Bro,
abilities to find
they,
out.
I feel like they would I mean, like, as long as we don't have guns, I can see them dominating with ease. If they do what the buffalo does, y'all know, y'all even see it. Anytime a predator approaches, most likely a lion, they will make sure to, like, bro, they tell you it's up. They all line up, horned up, ready to charge in, bro. Making sure that you bet now, bro. Keep the little niggas inside while we attack ahead. Arborvines.
Cattle are part of a powerful faction of builds called bovines,
Oh,
which also
bovines.
includes the bison, Cape buffalo, water buffalo, and historically the auroch.
I
While
know
there
my
are a
ish,
few
not the
differences
Auroch. I thought that was a yuck, but I know my ish, bro.
between them, which we'll discuss in a tier list at the end of the video, they all share a few common traits. Bovines have an exceptionally high HP stat. It takes a lot of damage to bring them down,
Let's
pretty much
go. I gotta
requiring
see
team
that fight.
strats from multiple predator players at once. And unlike some other high HP builds, bovines don't just sit there eating the damage. No, they can strike back with incredible
Ah, bro, I
force.
remember that.
Their
That man got
sharp,
like a
sturdy
deep
horns
cut.
can inflict massive damage on anything unlucky enough to be caught in their path. And unlike antlers, which fall off and need to be regrown each year, the horns cattle have, they have year-round, always ready to wreck someone's plan of attack. Their mobility stat is kinda mid, definitely not high enough to reliably escape a predator, and their intelligence and stealth are both below average for a mammal. However, neither of these stats are all that integral to the bovine build's main strategy. While lower intelligence does create a potentially exploitable vulnerability to things like traps, and lower their resistance to distractions and intimidation tactics, it's not so low that bovines aren't able to utilize team combos. Quite the contrary, in fact. The herd defense tactics employed by a competent
I don't
herd
know,
of
bro. The
cattle.
first thing that ran in my head when I saw that is I can definitely outrun that. I don't know, bro. Just look at this, man. I
Lower
feel
their
like I
resistance to
can outrun
distractions
that
and
with
intimidation
ease.
tactics, it's not so low that
I don't know.
bovines
Just
aren't
look. I
able
can
to
outrun
utilize
this,
team
bro.
combos. Quite the contrary, in fact. The herd defense tactics employed by a competent herd of cattle makes them borderline impossible to defeat in a group.
That's
And
what I'm
since they have
saying.
such a high HP stat, this gives cows' teammates a lot of time to regroup and launch a counterattack if one of their herd members goes down and needs a save.
Let's
Next,
go.
we should discuss their unique abilities and their signature combat moves. Bovines all have the ruminant ability, which enables them to gain XP and level up all just from eating grass. This might seem like a boring ability, but its usefulness is actually hard to overstate. Having this perk essentially means that one of the most abundant plants in the game becomes your
Okay.
main source of XP, completely removing the need to search and forage for food. This means a player doesn't need to invest evolution points into things like climbing, digging, keen eyesight, or intelligence to be able to find food, and can reinvest those points into other stats, which is how cattle are able to support such a high base stat total. Cattle also push the mammal faction's signature move, lactation, to its limits. Cow milk is one of the most nutritious substances in the game, and allows new cattle players to level up extremely quickly. This helps keep their offspring safe, as it means they spend less time in the more vulnerable low-weight class, and quickly reach a size where hardly anything could realistically take them down alone. The cattle's signature move is Goring Rush, an extremely powerful head bash attack that deals heavy damage and inflicts incredible knockback, forcing the target back a good distance and also likely knocking the target prone, which allows for easy follow-up attacks. Their sharp hooves deal extra damage to enemies, so this straightforward combo can be devastating if it catches
that penetrated.
About it when it comes to the cow's main combat moves. Cows can kick as well, but it's more of a stomp than anything. They don't have the flexibility or power to headshot someone like a horse can. They also cannot deal damage with their bite, since they don't have upper teeth.
Yeah, they do
not a super big deal, but biting is a powerful option to have in a pinch, so it's at least worth mentioning.
Yo, he got slammed!
Bite, since they don't have upper teeth.
Why are horse in the mix?
Deal, but biting is a powerful option to have in a pinch, so it's at least worth mentioning. Now, let's get into the cattle's weaknesses and counterplay. So, due to the cattle's low intelligence stat, its resistance to mental status conditions like intimidation, distraction, or trickery is reduced. Intimidation is a pretty common tactic employed by a variety of different builds, from predators to omnivores to herbivores. Intimidation is one of the most effective tactics against cattle, and can often result in a cow losing a battle that it very easily could have won if it had not been scared away. And conversely, if a cow does decide to take the offensive, distractions can easily divert the attack, causing it to completely miss. While this is, of course, extremely risky, overcommitting to an attack and whiffing can oftentimes mean the difference.
Went inside his, bro, look at that.
Causing it to completely miss. While this is, of course, extremely risky.
Look at that, bro. It is. Because as soon as he catches, he finna squat, to gain momentum to hop over, bro. And once he tries that,
overcommitting to an attack and whiffing can oftentimes mean the difference between decisive victory and crushing defeat. Advanced players utilize a combination of intimidation and distraction to kite cattle in specific directions, enabling them to control entire herds, which is what has allowed human mains to capture huge numbers of cattle. Cattle are known for their Goring Rush attack, which, while powerful, is imperfect. Many builds put a ton of points into the
ability. Wait, bro, y'all are different. I thought this wasn't. Bro, people actually run with the wolves.
Rush attack, which, while
I thought this was over, bro. I thought this should stop.
Many builds put a ton of points into the ability Concussive Force Resistance, enabling them to throw out headbutt attacks without much risk. Cows have some blunt force resistance, but not enough that headbutts and charging attacks are without risk. In fact, at high speed, cattle can easily take lethal damage in a single hit.
Oh my god! Yo, that was lethal! That was lethal.
Their charging attack.
I do not want to see that again.
Builds like the goat or bighorn sheep can easily best a cow in 1v1 combat, even though the cow's stats are much higher in a vacuum. Builds with forward-facing horns can also present quite a challenge to bovine builds, as bovine horns tend to face to the side and are more used for swiping and slashing at opponents than for stabbing forward. This means that in a direct confrontation, sharp antlers can deal a lot of damage to a bovine player while keeping them out of reach of connecting with their own horn attacks. There aren't enough different bovines for a proper full-length tier list video, but I think I can do a quick rapid-fire ranking to close out this video.
Jesus.
The basic cattle comes in at a solid B tier. Definitely not a bad build, but one with a lot of weaknesses that high-tier builds can exploit. Their main advantage over the other, more wild cattle variants comes in at a solid B tier.
Okay.
Definitely not a bad build, but one with a lot of weaknesses that high-tier builds can exploit. Their main advantage over the other, more wild cattle variants is that due to selective breeding by humans, the domestic cattle are actually the best in the game at milk production, and therefore their offspring level up and reach larger sizes much quicker. Definitely a much more beginner-friendly build, although at the end of your playthrough there's a good chance a human will eliminate you. Also in B tier we have the yak, a mountainous variant of...
Okay, hold up, before we go any further, I'm definitely gonna say that, what's they called? Cape Buffalo, rep the gang. Anything to do with the Buffalo, repping the gang, should be a high A tier or S tier. I mean, he started at B tier, so
Cattle that
I
opted
mean,
for slightly
okay,
lower
high
base
A
stats in
tier
exchange for better
or S
resistance to the
tier.
cold and better mobility on icy
Cause I
or
like
rocky
it.
terrain. Same basic weaknesses as the common cattle, but its ability to survive the cold Himalayan mountains means that it has less natural enemies to contend with than cattle in less hostile climates do. At the bottom of A tier, we have the bison. The bison are the largest bovine builds,
Okay, yeah,
and traded
S
some
tier,
of their
bro,
power
S tier
stats for extra health and defense. As a result, they have shorter horns
for the
and lots of
Buffalo.
padded fur on their head, meaning that they can tank a lot more damage, but also can't deal as much damage using Goring Rush. This can be a bit of a problem, as being able to one-hit a wolf would really help discourage aggressive teams of wolves from attacking them. Since they can't get a one-hit kill without a crit, some wolves get pretty brazen in their attacks on bison. Still, they're tied with the moose as the premier tank of the North America server, and have favorable matchups against the grizzly bear. So still definitely a solid high tier. Next
enough.
in A tier we have the water buffalo,
Yes,
a
sir.
bovine build with roughly
I
equivalent
said
stats to
cape,
the common
so
cattle, but with higher offensive stats and massive horns. They get a mobility bonus in shallow water, which, while not that busted of an ability, is still pretty nice to have. Water buffalo have to be able to fight off one of the most powerful solitary predator builds in the game, the Bengal tiger. Anything that can take on this thing has to be at least A tier. The human player base in the India server is also notably less aggressive towards bovine players,
yes,
which
sir.
makes them a lot more viable in that meta. But when it comes to hostile metagames, nothing compares to Africa. And despite the abundance of extremely powerful predators like the lion and hyena, and territorial giants like the rhino and elephant, the Cape Buffalo is still notorious for being one of the most dangerous builds in the game. It's one of Africa's Big Five.
Big Five, bro. South Africa, bro. They part of the Big Five, bro. Jesus, I know my ish.
Given to builds
It's
which
up
are
there.
notoriously difficult for humans.
Yes, it's
The Cape
up there, bro.
Buffalo is
They're
still
a
notorious for being one of the
fiending,
most
bro.
dangerous builds
It's
in the
on
game.
the it's on the what South African note, bro. Easy.
It's one of Africa's
Easy. It's on the
Big
fucking
Five.
money, bro.
Status
10. 10 is green. It is rhino. Hold up, let me look at this. 10, yeah, 10 is rhino. 20 is buffalo. No. 20 is elephant. Hold up. 20 is elephant. Wait. 10 rhino, 20 elephant, 50 lion, 100 buffalo, 200 leopard.
given to builds which are notoriously difficult for humans to defeat 1v1.
Yes, sir.
And so I think for this reason, the African Cape Buffalo ranks first among the bovine builds.
What?
But it still doesn't quite crack S tier, mostly because it's overshadowed by the wildebeest in the African savanna meta. The wildebeest, which is not a type of cattle or buffalo, but
An
rather
antelope.
is essentially an antelope with higher
Yeah,
stats,
it's an
may
antelope.
not be as bulky as the Cape Buffalo, but it does have a much higher base speed stat. And this speed is pretty crucial for being able to escape an ambush from Africa's predator builds, and for punishing opponents who don't respect the wildebeest's range, leading to the wildebeest being vastly more successful than the Cape
I ain't
Buffalo.
never seen
This
this.
level of supreme optimization
I mean, it's a
is what
cheetah,
it takes to
I
crack S
understand.
tier in the African server. Now, this doesn't mean cattle will never be S
Bro,
tier.
he better do
In
that.
fact,
I wanna see African server tier list. Low key, that's
I
something I
think
wanna
there's
see.
a pretty strong argument to be made that prior to humans unlocking the gunpowder technology on the tech tree, bison were the undisputed S tier of North America. And although they were all but annihilated from the server, their numbers are slowly but surely returning to healthy levels. It's quite an inspiring story, which you can check out right now on CuriosityStream, the sponsor of today's video. CuriosityStream is a subscription streaming service where you can watch thousands of documentaries and nonfiction films, including the Buffalo documentary, as well as many of my
No
other
disrespect.
personal favorite titles, such as Out of the Cradle and Leaps in Evolution videos, Real Life Lores videos, and a bunch of other .com/TierZoo to see Return of the Buffalo.
Oh yeah, this the outro, man. Shout out, golly, not even. I mean, yes, but this is a cow tier list. So, in other words, we're supposed to get an S tier. Essentially, I did want high A tier until I clocked. Yeah. It's definitely S tier. It's definitely up there. But yeah, So with that said, man, if y'all enjoyed the video, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know which other video to check out, and I'm gonna do so. But for now, I'm gonna see you guys when I see you guys. So see ya.